to my channel. This is David Sports Convo. Please like, share, and subscribe. And most of all, enjoy the video.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another episode of my podcast. As I'm here to break down the Cincinnati Bengals offseason so far, get you a recap on their draft picks, free agent additions, and departures, and even franchise tag notables. So we're talking about the Cincinnati Bengals this year. AFC North favorite, with Joe Burrow being all healthy and everything. They franchise tag T. Higgins. And they had a great draft class to help extend Joe Burrow's career as best they can and give him the protection he needs. Now let's break it down. Their draft, real quick. Not real quick, but we'll break it down. In the first round, at pick 18, they went offensive tackle Amarius Mims out of Georgia. Massive man. Great first round pick. Especially there was a run on tackles going on. They got their guy. Joe Burrow's got some extra protection. And again, Cincinnati Bengals O-line usually is in the top 5 in terms of protection. We'll see how they look now with this type of draftee added to the team. Can't wait to see that, especially see how he does in the run game. We all know he's a great pass protector. You might have not known, but in general, that's how he was rated. Now, going down to the second round, they took my boy out of Michigan, Chris Jenkins, whose father also played in the NFL for an extended amount of time. Out of Michigan, and got him in the second round at pick 49. I am so jealous. I wish he was a Lion. Well, that's okay. Woo-wee. So you can tell they're working on the trenches on both sides of the ball. They spent a first round and second round pick right into the trench. And then in the third, this is where you could tell the T. Higgins stuff spicing up. They got Jermaine Burton out of Alabama, who slid. A lot of people thought he should be a higher drafted receiver, but has a lot of off the field issues. And no matter what, though, he's an Alabama receiver, so he's got some traits. And then again, they got him at round 3, pick 80. It's a pretty great pick. So to help Joe Burrow out, pair him in that room, is now the wide receiver room. You got Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, what's his name? Trenton Irvin, crowd favorite. And then you got Jermaine Burton in the fold, especially after they lost Tyler Boyd. So you can see where they tried to invest in there. Now, right here, also in the third, they got a D tackle. So another D tackle to add to this draft class. So that tells you that the impact of, they recently had DJ Reader leave the team to become a Detroit Lion. So you can tell with these two drafted profiles or draftees adding to the mix that they're very concerned about that position. D tackle McKinley Jackson, Texas A&M, round 3 at pick 97. And then at round 4, you got the tight end Eric All from Iowa, but he also played for Michigan for a period of time. So he plays for both the major tight end universities as in Michigan and Iowa. And then the third I would throw in would be Miami. But overall, out of Iowa, round 4, pick 115. This tells you how they feel about the tight end position. They got Drew Sample re-signed. They're going to have Mike Gesicki, former Dolphin. There, we'll see if he starts. He's not a great run blocker, but Drew Sample is, so it's a mix-up there. And then we got in the 5th round also cornerback Josh Newton at TCU to add to that corner room. Get a defensive back in there to help out. They got him at round 5, pick 149. We'll see how that helps. Overall, they got, I feel like I'm talking Michigan Wolverines, but Cincinnati Bengals love Michigan Wolverines. They got DJ Turner, who's doing fantastic, and who's the other guy? Daxton Hill at safety, and then you got DJ. I mean, you got some Michigan studs there. I can't believe I almost forgot that. Now moving on, they got another tight end in the 6th round. Tanner McLachlan from Arizona at pick 194. So they get him. They get Eric All. They re-sign Drew Sample, and then they bring in free agent Mike Gesicki. That tells you how they feel about the tight end room. It's going to be a major They want major improvement, or it's going to be a major shakeup. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, Joe Burrow actually has a tight end he can count on. Seems very important for the Cincinnati Bengals in their plans for the future. Now moving on, they got a DN Cedric Johnson at Ole Miss in the round 6, pick 214. Definitely adds to the D line. Doesn't hurt, especially at this point in the draft. And then they went with their teammate, another defensive back, Darius Anthony, round 7, pick 224, also out of Ole Miss. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. So that's the thing. You could tell with this whole draft so far, as I'm breaking down, that they had a lot of consistent theme or a lot of similar positions drafted, and that just tells you their concerns and or what they believe needs the most shakeup on their team to help propel them to be where they want to be, AFC North favorites to win the division and or Super Bowl admirations, as long as you got Joe Burrow as your quarterback. That's on the table. So now, for the last pick of the whole draft for them, they went with center Matt Lee out of Miami, round 7. I think this is a steal for them out of their whole 10 picks. At pick 237, we'll see what happens with how he goes in. But back to adding the O-line. They started O-line, they ended O-line. But that's how the draft was set. You had to get your tackle early, and you get your interior offensive lineman later on, based on value. So we'll see how this all shakes up. But that's their draft for the Cincinnati Bengals. I believe they definitely did a lot of improvements to help Joe Burrow and some small little gains on the defensive line. They're really banking on Chris Jenkins to propel them, and that D tackle McKinley out of Texas A&M. We'll see how that shakes up. But DJ Reader was a formidable force, and that's going to be hard to replace. Thankful he is a Detroit Lion. Another departure they had was Joe Mixon. We'll see how that works out for him. Long-time running back for them. They replaced him with Zach Moss, and then they're expecting the twin brother Chase Brown out of Illinois to step up. We'll see how he does in his second year. But they're really banking on Zach Moss to be the bell cow. He's never been the featured back for a team for a full season, so we'll see how that works out. But they're putting their eggs in that basket. And then another ad, a free agent ad. They added Trent Brown, offensive tackle, great veteran to add to help with Amarius Mims. They don't have to rush him in, so that's fantastic addition. Also, they brought back Von Bell, which is huge. Former Bengal, he knows the system. And that's the thing, they're added to that defensive back room. Try to get the safeties with a good depth there, and even at cornerback because, injuries happen easily at that position. So that's a good one. And also they added Mike Gesicki, as I talked about earlier, which is a key tight end ad. And then they added Zach Moss, another key running back ad, as I also mentioned, for the replacement of Joe Mixon. We'll see how all their free agents additions work out for them. Now, in terms of they've also re-signed a crowd favorite or Cincinnati Bengal local favorite, Trent Irvin, who's a great receiver. He does the nitty-gritty. Joe Burrow talks highly of him. So the wide receiver room is looking great. They also franchise tag T. Higgins. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure he'll be productive. This will be his last year as a Cincinnati Bengal. And, yeah, we'll see how that all correlates for the Cincinnati Bengals run for the Super Bowl. Thank you all for checking this out of my breakdown of the Cincinnati Bengals for this offseason, as I'm going down, breaking down every single team week by week, every Friday at 6 p.m. My next team I'll be talking about will be the Chicago Bears. It's going to be hard for me to talk about as a Lions fan, but I know I need to talk about it to get you all acclimated to what they are planning to do and their big bounce back season that I am definitely worried about. Thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate every single one of you that watches, and tune in next week, Friday at 6 p.m. for my next episode breaking down the Chicago Bears. Thank you all again.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I had a great time doing it. Thanks for your time watching, and please don't hesitate to like, share, and subscribe. I also have a Instagram account at David Sports Convo. I also have a Twitch stream with David SC, and then I have a Patreon account, David Sports Convo. Check it all out for all of each platform with its own exclusive content, doing everything related to this amazing sports world that we live in. Thank you all again for your time. and have a wonderful day.